for tuning in. This is optibotimus with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Generations Thrilling 30 Deluxe Class Goldfire. Apparently, Hasbro can't call him Goldbug anymore. But that's exactly what it is. It's Goldbug. And when I saw this at BotCon, I was actually really impressed with it. I almost like this a lot more than the Bumblebee. It just is a really cool look. Obviously, you got the nice gold coloring, got the very nice dark deep blue, as well as a new head sculpt. Really very fun looking. The rest is exactly what we got with Bumblebee. But like that Bumblebee, we also do get the IDW Hasbro exclusive cover, which you see in the background here with Bumblebee or Goldfire on it. And it's a spotlight comic on the character of Goldfire, I'm assuming. Come around to the side, you see Series 2 figure number 10, going a little out of order here in terms of the release numbers or whatever. And then down here on the bottom, you got Waspinator and Dreadwing. I just figured I would do the repaints first because they're a little bit easier to do. Then you come around here at the back, you got his technical data with a rank and a courage of 10. Really very cool. I'm curious to see how they're going to make this, because in the Spotlight comic for the Bumblebee figure, he was basically the leader of the Autobots, and I thought it was really cool. You see his sports car mode as well as his robot mode, and then it says his new armor may be resistant to the laser fire of the Decepticons, but beneath it, Goldfire is the same robot he's always been. Once known as Bumblebee, he had the chance to lead Cybertron to a new golden age, but now it looks like that chance has passed. With all that he's built seemingly collapsing around him, all Goldfire can do is keep fighting to save all that he can. So it kind of sounds like Bumblebee as a leader failed, but that's what you have for the packaging. I really do like it. It is very unfortunate that international people like in Canada and over in the UK don't get this packaging unless they order it from special sources or things like that, but really does kind of suck that they're not getting the actual comic book with it. So sorry guys, you're gonna have to figure out something else, but that's about it for the packaging for Goldfire. So let's get him open and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Goldfire opened up and out of its packaging. And like I mentioned in my Dreadwing review, the comic book for Goldfire here doesn't really focus a lot on actually Goldfire. A lot of it is actually RC. Now Goldfire is in it, and they do explain that the reason why he looks like this is he gets severely damaged at some point in time. His face gets crushed, which is why he gets a new head for the toy, and everybody's worried that he's not going to pull through. So that's basically the gist of that comic book, and like I said, it explains why he goes back to this general look. Basically the way that it seems in terms of the continuity is that he went to Earth, then he created, he picked up this Earth mode. Then he seemed to go back to Cybertron and revert back to his War for Cybertron look, and that's what got massively damaged. And there were enough parts left over from this to basically create this look, which I dig. I think that works really cool. As you can see, he does still have the same weapons, although they are in the different color here, and I really like the color on this, especially with the blue translucent bits right here. Really very nice looking. I love this deep blue color, and it's the same color as like his thighs and his arms and things like that. So I really do dig this coloration of his weapon. You can, just like the original one, tab it together just like so and create this weird combined gun. But this is what you're looking at for his vehicle mode. One thing that I do want to mention, and I tease my friend Balt Matrix often, because he often will talk about gold plastic syndrome, and he's usually always wrong. I mean, he'll mention it for like gold paint or something like that. I was like, that's not GPS, dude. But this definitely seems like it could have that. Zooming in so that you can see that, hopefully it comes across. There's a lot of swirly plastic in here, and it's this gold coloring, and that's usually what you want to look at. Now, gold isn't only the color that can become brittle and fall apart. Other colors can do it, but gold is just kind of the one that gets, more often than not, that label, I guess. But you can see it throughout a lot of the figure. This bit right here is painted, but you can see some of that swirliness here on the roof, and then you come around here to the back of him, and he has that as well. Down here on the bottom, you can see a lot of it on his chest piece. Hopefully that's coming across fairly well. That's a concern. Basically, the explanation that has been circulating for a long time is that it's using different like plastics melded together in the melting process, and a lot of times they don't actually bond appropriately. So that's when you get the swirliness to create this color, and it unfortunately affects the durability of the plastic. Now, I don't know if this is gonna fall apart. It's a brand new toy, so it might not. We haven't had a real kind of outbreak of it since about maybe 15 years, something like that. So I'm not saying that this figure will have it, but it is something that you may want to keep an eye on. But I love the way that this looks. I love the black striping here along the side. I like the black spoiler on the back. Really very cool. Now, for a comparison, even though I already brought it out, here's Bumblebee. As you can see, they are the exact same, with the exception of the coloring. I do really like the silver rims here on Bumblebee. The black rims on here work perfectly. If you were to take that silver and put it on here, I think it would really make it look a lot more weird. I also really like the darker color of the windshield. It kind of hides things a little bit better, whereas this, you kind of see everything that's going on inside there. So I think that the darker windshield works a little bit better. As I did mention, this top bit here is painted, but I think it blends in nicely with the gold coloring that they have. Really, a really very nice looking repaint on this. I really dig it. Now, because it does share that same mold, the transformation is identical. So as I always tell you, we're gonna go ahead and skip that, but if you do need help with it, in the video description, I'll put a link to my review of the original Bumblebee figure. You can check that out and get any help you may need. But other than that, we'll do some movie magic and we'll go from Goldfire looking like this to looking like this. And again, you're looking at a straight up repaint for the most part. He does have a new head, but it's really not anything spectacular or anything. I mean, you got him holding his gun here, but we're gonna get the comparison out of the way. So let me get him standing up proper, and here's Goldfire, and here's a very bright Bumblebee. Now, the really cool thing, like I said, is that he is the same character. He just gets basically fixed up and put back in this form. So it's like he goes from this form to how he looked in the video games, the War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron games. And at that point, he gets severely damaged, and then he goes back to looking like this, which is basically the same thing this has, except his face gets completely destroyed, I guess. So they give him a new face. You still got the Autobot logo there on the chest. Everything else is really pretty much the same. The one thing that is really kind of annoying is, in my review for this guy, I mentioned that you bring this down and you kind of lock that into place here in his chest. This guy really, it doesn't lock down. So when you move things around, it comes undone, and then it has a tendency to kind of squish his head up. So it covers up his mouth and his face and everything, and that really is kind of unfortunate and really kind of sucky, actually, because overall, I really do like the way that the guy looks. I mean, honestly, this is a good representation of Bumblebee, but for a Goldbug or Goldfire, I think this looks really terrific. There is one minor paint blemish. He's got a gold finger right there. If you get that reference, you're pretty cool. But yeah, and it just doesn't lock down. So when you move things, that's automatically gonna detach, and it kind of sucks. But I really do dig them. It's a great repaint. The face sculpt is really very nice. It does have a very kind of Goldbug look with the mouthpiece. Zoom in so that you can see that. Like I said, it nicely resembles how Goldbug looked when Bumblebee became Goldbug, and I really do like that. This is, in the comics, this is his repaired form, because that's really what Bumblebee was in the G1 cartoon. He was like so badly damaged that he went from being Bumblebee to Goldbug, and I really love that they kept that kind of storytelling the same. But there you have his face. He does have some light piping here in the back, but it's kind of cloudy, actually, and you don't really get a lot going for it. It doesn't even look like anything's coming through that. And you guys know I use a lot of lights, but that doesn't really do much of anything, so that kind of stinks. Now, because he is the exact same figure, he does have the same level of articulation. The head just rotates left and right, but very stiff on this figure that I have here at the neck. The shoulders will rotate, but again, when you rotate that down, that whole section comes down, so that's kind of ugly. They move in and out, just this part of the transformation. They rotate right up here at the elbow. They bend at the elbow. Nice ratchet joints. I really do dig that. Nothing here. Well, does he have anything at the... No, he doesn't have anything at the wrist. Waist does rotate at the waist, but again, really stiff there as well. The hips are on ball joints, so you get a nice range of motion forward and back. They rotate at the upper part of the thigh. You got ratchet joints here for the knees, and then you got some pivot here in the foot as well. So a lot of articulation. You can get some really good poses with them. One thing that's actually kind of fun to do is I notice I kind of like this. You can leave these down almost and that pops up and give them even a little bit more different of a look. You just kind of leave that dangling off to the side. It's really very simple, but it gives a slightly different look to the toy, I guess. But since this is meant to be Bumblebee, it doesn't really bother me too much to keep the same look for the two different toys going. But I really do dig the guy. I think he's a great looking figure. It is a nice reuse of that Bumblebee mold to give us the Goldbug character, or Goldfire character, I guess. And like I said, when I saw this at BotCon, I was really very excited to get him. In terms of the deluxe figures, he was probably the second most excited figure second most figure I was excited for. Yeah, we'll say that. At least in terms of the deluxes. The first one being Waspinator. So highly recommend this guy. He's a great toy, great looking figure, and just overall very, very fun. So yeah, definitely pick this guy up when you find him at your local retails. He should be hitting fairly soon, but if you can't wait, go ahead and click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to Big Bad Toy Store, where you can pick this guy up, as well as the rest of his wave mates, I suppose. And as soon as they get him in stock, you can get yours shipped out to you. But beyond that, that's about it, guys. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Keep in touch with me. Find out recent purchases, as well as all upcoming video reviews, all at facebook.com/teambotimus. And follow me over on Twitter at twitter.com/optibotimus. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.